Welcome to Expedition Sea Nest. Iguanas, tropic birds with amazing tail feathers, and beautiful sunsets awaited us as we traveled in the Exumas from Little Farmer's Cay and made an unplanned stop at Bitter Guana Cay. And we were so glad we did.
So it's about time we got some fresh fish. It's been a couple days now since I've had my fish fix, so I have to get some. So
that's the plan.
That's the plan for today, but you know that can go sour pretty quick. We'll see how the weather holds for us. I know we're supposed to get some stronger winds out of the east, so let's.
Well, we'll give it a go. We'll go up on the inside and we'll see what those cuts look like.
Yeah.
And then we'll duck in if they look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're right here today, and we're going to be leaving very soon, and we could wait around here. I wanted to fish in these areas. Any place where there seems to be a cut through here, there can be good fishing around. You don't have to fish the actual cut, but you can fish like outside of the cut, different areas like that, or just outside the pass here, or outside the cut in these areas. But I don't want to wait here till like noon. That's a long time. We're wasting part of the day, so I thought we could travel up and maybe we can fish this one right here. This is called Dotham Cut. So we could try that one, although it's really close to Black Point. But might be worth it. There might be another cut right here too, a little one. And I don't know if we can make it this far by 1 o'clock or noon, but if we could, that would be great.
You just need that to cool off.
What's that?
Said you just need to jump in the water every once in a while because it's so hot.
Just had a lot of heat pent up inside of me. And it feels so good. It's just an ideal temperature. Oh.
How many times have I fallen for you? Every promise you never delivered. How many times all the words that you said had me mixing the sweet with the bitter? But I know what you're saying, don't need no explaining. You're making me shake and shiver. You're shining your shoes, but hey, I got news. I ain't falling for all of that glitter this time. As ready as I can be this time. I'll be running free.
There are two ospreys at the top of the cliff here. We came over to take a look at this amazing formation, this rock formation. I'm not sure what kind of rock it is. We'll have to look that up.
We think it's limestone.
Yeah, we think it might be limestone. But there's this majestic osprey just sitting on the top calling. And then we noticed there's quite a sizable nest on the other end of the rock. So what an amazing place to build your nest, and the bounty of the sea all around you to feed your young. Pretty awesome. But the white of this rock is what drew us to this point. So we're going for a lovely little evening cruise, and then we're going to head over to the beach and do a little stroll on the beach. What a great way to end a day.
Water just rushing through this.
Oh, what a great spot to spend the evening.
Oh,
You go for a little hike. These pointy rocks are hard to walk on with flip-flops when your feet are wet, so I went with bare feet. And you really have to be careful where you put your toes. But it was worth it when you look at this view that we have here all the way around us.
Yeah, it's the Atlantic.
It's beautiful.
As far as you can see is ocean. Somewhere out there, there's more islands.
Mr. Michael, any thoughts on the day? Yeah, the
Tired.
fishing was not extraordinary, but you were a trooper and you dove down a lot. That's why you're yawning.
Yeah.
And the current was ripping. Like, I almost should have filmed that. I was hanging onto the back of the dinghy and then jumping in and out and just floating behind. I did film some of it floating right behind Michael. He was just floating with his spear, and I was in the dinghy because I was worried that we would just get sucked past the dinghy if we'd anchored the dinghy up. So that was our strategy.
Fortunately, the dinghy was drifting about as quickly as we were.
Yeah.
It worked out well.
I feel like it's time to go look for some iguanas on the beach.
There was one following me.
There was not.
There was one following me, and when I stopped and looked back, he stopped.
Huh. Well, I saw some further down the beach, so I think I'd like to explore that before the sun goes down. Let's go do that. I'm glad that they have those signs. At one of the other keys that we were at, there was a gentleman whose dog was running after these iguanas, and it was really disturbing to watch how it was freaking the iguanas out. Really have nowhere else to go but under a rock, and that dog was just running and running and running, and it was kind of disturbing. Anyhow, it's nice to have a sign here to say, do not chase or catch the iguanas, and don't let your pets run after them. Good job, Bahamas. What initially brought us here was for sure this amazing limestone cliff, but also the oyster catchers and the tropic birds were flying all around here. They're not here at the moment, but we've anchored up here so that we're hoping we can see if there's a nest around here, or just observe what their behavior is, because we know nothing about them. So we're pretty excited to be here. Galore behind your head.
Iguanas up there?
Yeah, right beside you to your right.
No way. Oh, yeah.
While we were in Bitter Guana Cay, Michael spotted and was able to photograph tropic birds. Just in case you hadn't noticed, this bird is in our official logo with a beautiful sunset behind it. It was incredibly difficult to film these birds while in flight with their amazing acrobatics, but I'll share with you now what we were able to capture.
Right into the cave.
Trying to find nesting sites, I guess.
Tropic birds prefer warmer tropical climates. They generally nest on islands with rocky cliffs, but have been known to lay their eggs directly on the ground. Patience is the name of the game here, eh? Tropic birds engage in a complex flying ritual to attract a mate. They will fly in large loops and high speeds and have been observed flying backwards as part of this effort. No wonder it was so challenging to film them from the boat. Once the birds find a mate, they generally remain in breeding pairs while nesting on an island.
Oh, it's just amazing to see these aerobatic birds coming in here like jet fighters, and they just pull into some cavity on the side of these rocks. So they are cavity nesters, or they're maybe cliff. So hard to video something flying like that.
The length and volume of a bird's tail feathers is the primary driver to finding an acceptable mate. The female lays one egg, only one, either on a protected rocky cliff or in a crack on the ground.
I'm hoping with all the filming I'm doing here that maybe I can give you guys just a glimpse of how beautiful this bird is with its long tail. And it's white, almost all white. There seems to be some markings on its head here.
Does it have a bright orange beak?
Yeah, it's almost like it must be a species of tern.
No. And it's funny because yesterday we came into this anchorage because there are a couple of those tropical birds went into that little cave, and we thought we might have found the nesting site, but no luck. Maybe they're just doing some real estate shopping.
I think so.
They're mating mid-air. They're mating mid-air, which is
I think
so
they're trying
cool.
to locate a nesting site. That's why they're going in and they're coming out so quickly. Just to spend a second, they look, and then they come back out.
But there's so many iguanas in there, you would think that they would eat the eggs.
Maybe they do. Nature is funny. See, there's a lot of them have nested on this point over there. Are checking out
Yes,
that point.
yeah.
They land for a second, or they don't land at all.
This next fact was the one that I found the most interesting. Chicks are not only blind, but cannot move when they're first born. They typically remain in the nest under the parent's protection for 2 to 3 months. That seemed really long to me. And throughout that time, both the parents take turns feeding the offspring until it is old enough to learn to fly. So many rock iguanas on the cliffs where we were, we wondered if they would pose a threat to the nesting tropic birds. But this question remains unanswered. So if anyone out there has knowledge about this or any other tropic bird facts, we'd love to hear them. Leave us a comment in the section below. Was just out for an early morning dip, and Michael wanted to fly the drone just to show everybody how beautiful it is here. And I hope that you'll be able to see it in the drone footage. You can sort of see it from the top of the boat over here. There is a sizable nurse shark just sleeping, just chilling over there. She wants nothing to do with me. But I thought that was really funny. Here I was floating around in the water, enjoying myself. And there's a big shark just floating around enjoying himself. It's unbelievably beautiful today. And we got up, and Michael right away was trying to film the tropic birds, which are still flying overhead. Time to go to the office. Michael and I are still working while we're on board the boat. It's mostly a holiday, but every day we do need to check in and do some work on the computer. So I just thought I'd show you the setup here. Starlink is right there, comes across the solar panel and goes in the side window and gets plugged in. It's plugged in here, down below. So Michael will start the generator so that we have additional power in order to run the Starlink. And we'll show you how that goes.
Well, our batteries have to be recharged too overnight. You know, the solar panel obviously doesn't work when there's no sun. So now we have to bring the batteries back up, and we also need the generator also for running the Starlink. Starlink consumes quite a bit of energy.
So the generator is kept in the center down below. So there's a lot of moving things around on a little boat.
Yeah, it's not my favorite thing to do, and it has to be done every day. Twice a day, actually. Actually, we didn't do it last night.
No.
So at least once a day.
The piece of wood we put down so that the feet of the generator doesn't damage the surface of the
rubber decking called Raptor decking or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, which is really actually stands up well. But we did find that one time we had the thing sitting in a box, the generator, and the box warmed up, and it did melt a couple spots on the Raptor decking. So we don't do that anymore. Now we just put it on a little piece of plywood that guarantees nothing's going to get damaged. But it goes in here. There. Okay, that one's in now. I take this one, and it goes over to across here, and then you just put this pigtail or shore power connection on here. This goes in here, and then it drops it down to a 110 plug-in, and that goes into the generator. Make sure that the EcoBoost is not on when you start this. And we start it up. So now you can decide, do you want to keep it going in just a regular mode, or you want to drop it down to what they call the EcoBoost, which saves on fuel and is less noisy. There's nobody around us, so we could do it either way. If we're in a hurry to charge, we keep it the way it is right now. Of course, it's too noisy. Sorry about that. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop it down to EcoBoost because we're not in a rush. We probably have close to 45 minutes to an hour of office work to do. Yeah.
And there you have it. That's how we get set up.
It's a lot quieter when you drop it down to the EcoBoost. Now, what I understand, it's not good to start it in EcoBoost, and it's not good to end it in EcoBoost. So you should take that off before you turn it off, and so that when you start it up next time, it's not on. You know? Not sure why that is. It just says you're not supposed to.
So now we clean up the mess that is our office desk.
Oh boy.
and we set it up with our computers. So
And after office hours, we went out to see if we could catch some dinner. As we said before, the current between the cut was ripping, so we would go to the top of the cut, jump in the water, and drift back over and over again. Some of the time, I was dragging Michael behind the dinghy, and other times he would jump into the dinghy and drive with his fins still on. It was quite a sight. It looks a bit like the laundry room here because all of our laundry hangs off the back of the boat, especially after we're diving.
Yeah, we're trying to protect ourselves from the sun, so we have the bimini sides on here, and it's an amazing how much heat that cuts back by putting them up. Mm-hmm. It's really nice, and you can let wind. We're letting the air blow through here and pass through here or the other direction. Mm-hmm. It's really nice.
Beautiful.
And it gives you some privacy too. You know, we have an outdoor shower right here. We can shower right here, and there's a couple of sailboats here. There's a big cruiser back here, so it gives us the privacy. You know, and that's another reason why we like to be maybe a little closer to shore, because if we're in the same line with all the boats, everyone gets to see each other in the cockpits. But if we're farther forward, we can block this back off to give us the privacy and still leave this entire thing open. The drawbacks of being so close to shore is sometimes you get the no-see-ums. If you get no-see-ums, then you should pull back. That's when you notice some of the sailboats stay way out. Yeah, they do draw a lot more water, but I think a lot of times they stay out farther because then you get the. Right now we have these big, I guess,
Cliffs
really. that are like, it's like a wind shadow, which is really nice if it was really windy, but it's not today. So we might just pull out farther for the evening, just maybe another 200 yards go out so we can get we get out of the wind shadow. We're getting a little bit of wind, but not very much, right?
Right.
Yeah, and then you get more flies. It's not just no-see-ums. You can get flies during the day. What's the drawbacks of being too close to shore? Sometimes you get dinghies coming into the past
for
you.
sure. You have dinghies that are going to shore that zip past your boat that give you some more waves. But honestly, it's not a big deal.
Some of the big benefits of having a boat that draws very little water is the fact is this boat, they say I think it draws 36 inches or 34 inches. I can't remember, something like that. But that's with the motor completely down. If you trim the motor up, it's got to be more like 2 feet. And it gets really shallow and allows you to anchor in extremely shallow conditions, and which allows you to get into that wind shadow when you have those heavy winds, and those winds can create waves. So there is some benefits. If you had a point coming out on one of the sides here, and the farther you can get in the shore, the less of a chance you're going to pick up a swell, less of a chance you're going to pick up those wind waves too. So that can be really nice.
What's your wish list for our little Ranger tug here, our little R25 wish list? Because we got it kind of bare bones because we were on a budget.
Well, I want to redo the V berth. I'm going to take everything out of the V berth, all those cushions, everything, and I'm going to make it so there's actually a hinged bed that goes up on both sides. It's going to be split down the middle, so one side goes up, so we can have easier access to the storage underneath. So that is something I'm going to work. We seen that there was a 25-foot Ranger tug we saw at Key Largo, in Key Largo, and
they gave us a tour.
They gave us a tour of the boat, and they had come up with that.
Very good idea.
Yeah, it was a great idea. It was hinged with the gas struts on it, so you didn't have to put a lot of energy, and it would stay up by itself, and you could get to all the compartments.
It was brilliant because it's the bane of my existence.
Oh yeah.
As much as we did do some modifications, we put an extra cushion on the extra mattress topper on the cushions in the V berth, which is actually super comfortable. But for me, the number of times a day you have to get underneath there, I'm finding that it is not the best solution. Short term, fantastic, but long term, we're going to be living on the boat for 3 months. It's not working.
No.
So we need to come up with a different solution for the V berth, and that, to me, that would be a really good one.
Yeah, if you're on this boat for a weekend or even a week, it's you probably don't need to get in there as much as but when you're living on board and you're going into isolated areas, there's we have so much food and so much stuff underneath
pantry.
there. Yeah.
And for you on your side, it's all the mechanical
parts.
stuff,
Yeah.
all the parts. So
spare parts.
It's like your garage
safeties.
and your kitchen pantry.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
Under
so
your bed.
Every square inch of this boat, the storage is used.
Yeah.
Every single bit of it.
So V berth would be number 1 on the list of wish list. Number 2 would be, do we want autopilot or radar? Or they're further down the list than I
think they're further down the list. I mean, I would like to have that. We just can't afford that right now. I want to change the batteries out. Our house batteries are, it's fine. It's working for us, but we have to put the generator on twice a day, in the mornings and in the evenings, to get us through the night. So we'd like to go with, we definitely want some more amp hours.
Modifications to the boat, as well as changing out the battery, will be shown in upcoming videos, so stay tuned.
So the solar panel helps?
Yeah, it does. I would say the solar panel keeps the refrigerator topped up. It does a good job. If we're away from the boat and the solar panel is going, we don't seem to lose any power at all inside the boat, and the only thing that's really running is the refrigerator, and so that's good. So it works for that. But we need to get some. I'm considering lithium, just because I'm trying to keep that weight down on the port side of the boat. I mean, you know, you can get that lithium battery. You know, there's the I think the luxury edition offers the whole big battery storage, lithium batteries in the center compartment, and we looked at that, and it'd be really great, but it takes a lot of space, and I had other plans for all that space. You know, I want to put a generator on. You can have all the batteries you want, but you still need something to generate the power, unless you're going to be going somewhere with your outboard to charge them back up again. And you know, we spent 3-4 days in one location. Mm-hmm. You know, we don't want to have to start that big motor up, you know, and we rather start up the little generator. It's better on fuel, and I don't want to put the hours on my outboard. I want to put it on that little generator. It's a lot less expensive to run that little generator, and it doesn't cost as much. So that's so.
It is a bit noisy, though. It's
noisy.
It's not too bad. We try to be.
We run it on the Eco.
Neighbors.
We run it on. Yeah, we try it. We never run it early in the morning. We never run it late in the afternoon either. I mean, we try to also stay away from everybody else too when we're at an anchorage. But you can hear other people running their generators, and that's usually when I go, oh, they got their generator on, then I'll start my generator. Mm-hmm. So
it's courtesy.
Yeah. Once you start hearing people, you know, moving around in their tenders and stuff, then you know you can start it up.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you can run this boat stock. This boat is fine. I mean, really, you could come here to the Bahamas and spend the entire winter in the Bahamas with a stock, with this boat just stock, not doing anything to it. You really could. I mean, we've done a few things to it, but nothing major. I mean, it's all you need to do is put a generator, and you need to have the pigtail, whatever they call it, to go from the generator to the cord. That's all you need, and you're ready. Yeah, I would recommend that you always have a kicker motor, an emergency backup motor. I mean, I think you could use the dinghy motor if you didn't want to carry but I really feel better having a long shaft outboard on that side. So if you're in a rough sea and your engine stops, your big engine stops, or you have a problem, or you're trying to get through one of these cuts, or who knows, you know, you want to have at least another motor that goes down as far in the water as the main outboard does. Because when the boat's pitching and lifting out of one wave, you know, your engine's going to cavitate if you have a short shaft, or what they call a regular shaft on that kicker. So it's best to have a long shaft. It's much better for that. I just feel safer having that. And do I need a 9.9? I could probably get by with a 6-horse, which would be a lot lighter. You know, I think maybe I should have bought a 6-horse. But it's nice to know I have that power. That 9.9 throws this boat around easy. Like, I could run that at 6 knots, no problem. And so it's a motor I can trust. And it's a motor that can do any job I want it to. I could take this across from the Bahamas to that. I could take that 9.9 across from
the Gulf,
from Bimini to Florida. Yeah, it's got lots of power. Wouldn't be worried about that. It would burn more fuel than that 250. I'm sure it would. It has to work pretty hard, but it does have the power for doing that.
So if you enjoyed this episode, we'd appreciate a thumbs up and subscribe. Yeah. Because it really helps the channel. And we love to hear from you. So drop us a comment. And
it's what keeps us going.
Yeah, it really does.
We get to hear something from you guys and how much you enjoy it, or, you know, maybe you have a small live-aboard boat and you want to tell us your stories, or you have some good ideas of what we could do or where we could go. Drop us a line.
And sometimes we think like no one's watching. So let us know you're watching. We'd love to hear from you. Take good care.